So in today's video, I'm going to talk about why you cannot assume. And this goes with car work, goes with life. You can never make assumptions. And we're all guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. Even after seeing and living this story I'm going to tell you, I still at times catch myself making assumptions, and most times they end up bad. So quick story on why you can never assume anything. So when I was working at the dealership, I was running, they had a satellite, or they had basically an independent style shop. It was separate from the dealer. It was 4 towns over. We were Ford franchise, so we could do warranty Ford work, we could do recalls, but we could work on all makes and models. We could do whatever we wanted. So whatever came through the door, we fixed. But we also did quite a bit of recall warranty work because, hey, it'd be going to the dealer. We were usually faster than the dealer, so it was just worked out for everybody. This is in 2013. Lady comes in, she has a 2012 Ford Explorer. That's the new body style. It's very current. They're actually still producing that same. The 2020s are a little bit redesigned, but they're pretty much the same style in 2020. So her complaints were ABS light coming on, StabiliTrak light coming on, the hill hold assist light coming on, basically lighting up every kind of traction control, stabilizer control light on the dash like a Christmas tree. You would shut the car off, you start it up, nothing. The minute you went over 17 miles an hour, everything would light up. You could pull it over, shut it off, restart it, be gone, drive it, same thing would happen. So my lead tech, probably one of the best techs I ever worked with, brings the car in, scans it, gets a hub failure code for the left front hub. You know, the pinpoint test was very basic. He goes through it, needs a left front hub. The hub, the bearing, the ABS toner, the sensor, everything's built into it. You literally bolt it onto the car, you plug it in, you're done. So we order it, comes from Ford, so it had to come from Detroit. It was like a day, maybe a day or two. We got it, we bolted in. Go take the car for its road test. Now, I tried the road test every single car that left the shop. It was something an old manager of mine had done, and I kind of took that from him. He personally either road tested it himself or he went with the tech, because certain guys, they don't fix something, and instead of admitting that they didn't fix it, they let the customer take it and let it come back. So to alleviate that, I would always road test, especially with warranties, because with Ford, if it was the first warranty repair within a certain amount of time, or the claim was over a certain amount, they would usually send the customer a survey. How was this? How was that? And we got rated on that stuff, so it was good to make sure it was fixed right the first time. That was actually Ford's motto for like the longest time, was fix it right the first time. Good luck with that, but we take it for a ride. It does the identical problem. Identical. Over 17 miles an hour, all the lights come on, you shut it off, you restart it, retest it, it does the same thing, same code, same identical problem. So he goes back through the pinpoint test. It says it needs another hub. Well, we already replaced the hub. Brand new hub right out of the box. So he contacts the Ford Tech line. Ford Tech line says, do this test. He does it. Calls them back. Okay, we want you to replace this. First, they wanted us to replace the connector going onto the sensor, onto the ABS hub. They thought the connector was bad. So they sent us a pigtail. We replaced it. Didn't fix it. Next thing they did, okay, we want you to overlay wires from the ABS module direct to it, blah, blah, blah. We do that, doesn't do anything. Okay, well, it must mean the module is bad. Replace the module. So we replace the ABS module. Still doesn't fix it. Now they're like, okay, well, maybe when you overlaid the wires, because the wires were actually like coiled, they were coiled in a very specific way. You had to have so many coils per foot for something with the frequency from the module to that sensor. So they're like, we're gonna send you a complete harness. Literally off the factory line, they pull this harness off, they send it to us. My tech takes them like a day and a half, takes this whole car apart, replaces this whole harness, everything. Puts it all back together, take it for a ride, and guess what? Boom, same problem, nothing fixed, doing the same thing. This car's been here now a month. at least a month. Lady's been in a loaner car because at first she was using her husband's truck, and then after a few days that became inconvenient, so I called up to the main dealer. I was like, listen, give me a loaner. The lady bought it from us. She's a good customer. She's not giving us a hard time. She was like so nice, this lady. I felt so bad for this situation, but we just couldn't give it back to her. Just no matter what we did, just wasn't fixing it. So flash forward a couple, another week or so. Ford at times, if there's a problem, concern, and the tech line has only taken you so far, they will send an engineer. An engineer is someone who basically, obviously by the name, they're an engineer. They work for Ford and they are problem solvers. They will go to certain dealerships, certain repair places, and they will help you diagnose a vehicle that you're having trouble with. But you have to go through a lot of steps to get there. It's not just like, oh, I can't figure it out. Can you send an engineer? And they just send one. You got to go through all these steps. So now we're deep. We're almost 2 months into this thing and we're getting nowhere. And I got hours into this thing. I mean, if you're a tech, you know about flagging hours, keeping track of your hours. I mean, I got hours and hours and hours and hours into this thing and we're nowhere. So engineer comes down. He spends the whole day with my tech. They go through everything my tech has already done. They go through every single thing. And the engineer, by 3 o'clock, he's been there since 9:30, he's scratching his head. He's like, I have no idea why it's not fixed. I can't understand it. Blah, 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 blah. He's just going crazy. So he's getting ready to leave. And he's like, I'm going to leave. When I go back to the office, I'm going to email my boss, and we may end up having this car picked up. We may end up buying this car back from the lady, which I've seen before. It's kind of a lemon law type thing where the factory has bought back cars. I've seen it like 3 times in my history, but it will and it does happen. So he's assuming it's going to go this way. It's going to end up getting bought back. Well, on a hunch, he walks over to my parts department. He says, listen, do me a favor. Look me up the part number on that hub. Is that hub on the left side the same as the one on the right side? My parts guy, boom, 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 boom. It is. It's the same part number. He gets the idea. Let's move the hub. Let's see if we move the new hub, brand new hub out of the box. If we move that hub over to the other side, does the concern and the codes follow it? Switch the hub. It wasn't a very hard thing. Took my tech maybe 30 minutes to switch the hubs left to right. Put it all back together. They get in the car. They go down the road. Sure enough, 17 miles an hour. Everything lights up like it's been. They bring it in. They scan it. And lo and behold, now the problem's on the right side. So what's that mean? It means the brand new hub, the brand new out of the box, never installed, out of the wrapper hub was faulty just in the identical way that the one that went bad originally was faulty. And they proved it by taking both the hubs. So they took the one from the right side, which was always good, and they took the one from the left side that was bad that we had swapped over. They put them both on the bench, and we took filings from machining rotors, cast iron filings, and we sprinkled those filings onto the magnet that the sensor reads off. And the magnet on that left side hub that was faulty right from the box had breaks in it where it was demagnetized. So the sensor didn't know how fast the wheel was going. So over 17 miles an hour, it would just set all the lights on. So basically, that brand new part from the factory that was bad caused tons of hours, tons of time, tons of parts, aggravation. I mean, that hub belongs on a wall of shame. Basically a brand new part that my tech, myself, all the other techs in the shop, and the engineer to the last minute, we all assumed, well, we already replaced the hub. It's brand new. It can't be the hub. It's got to be something else. Brand new hub. How could a brand new part be bad? And that's the point. Never assume anything. If you've diagnosed a car and you diagnose it down to a certain part and you replace that part and you're still having a problem, don't just assume because that part is new, it's good. Obviously, that part, that Ford hub, was not good and it was brand new. And I've seen aftermarket parts be bad out of the box. I've seen, obviously, factory parts be bad out of the box. So to assume, you're just going to screw yourself. So I was thinking about that today. I thought it'd be a good story, a little bit of a lesson. Never assume. So whatever you're doing in life, whether it's, business wise or fixing cars or personally, whatever issue you're having, don't jump to conclusions. Don't assume anything, because you'll end up most times, not all the time, sometimes you make an assumption and you're right. And that's great. But think about the times you've made assumptions and you've been wrong and it's burned you. So that's a little lesson. I think that claim cost Ford, well, that was a whole other debacle, was getting that paid. Because now Ford was like, well, yeah, we told you we wanted you to do all that, but when you're talking 60 flag dollars of labor time plus thousands of dollars worth of parts, you're talking a claim that was probably upwards to almost, I want to say that claim was almost $7,000 to $8,000 for Ford to pay for. They did not want to hear about paying for it. It went back and forth, and finally our warranty administrator fought, and she got 90% of that money. But it took a long time, and the customer was very upset with the product, and it just was bad all in all. And it was all from assuming. We just assumed, hey, we put a brand new hub in it. That hub has got to be good. It's brand new. Now, if we would have done that swap test that day we put that new hub in and it wasn't fixed and we did that test, we would have figured out right off the bat, hey, we got a brand new part, it's no good. So never assume, never just think, oh, that's good because it's brand new, or this is this way or this is that, because you'll get surprised. You might be 9 out of 10 good, but that one time, like this time, it'll burn you. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Have a great day.